We're back. Back for another one on Project Diablo 2. And I gotta say, already, we're only at Act 2, but I love this way they've made and the little balancing updates that just make it way since the last stream. So, I've actually still been playing it a lot on the side. And I started halfway through Act 3. But yeah, it's still early days. And one thing I noticed when I was watching the last stream is I left. Which is a shame because I really. And I'm kicking ass on it big time. Just give this stream like a little bit because. A minute, but. In game. In game. Yo, Marky Mark. How you doing, brother? Ain't no love in Oklahoma. Hardly eating anything. This is like my first drink of water the whole fucking day. So I'm bushed, like. Ooh. Man. This Georgian water. Vichy Catalan from Barcelona or like Spain. That's a close runner-up, but I would say Borjomi's even better. Man, why won't it let me join the game? Let's try, maybe it's time for maintenance. There we go on this one. I turned all of the sound down as well last time I was playing. Because I was listening to audiobooks whilst I was grinding out. This has still been hot as fuck. It's been like 35 degrees here still, and it's... I know outside, and I'm like, oh, it's only 30 today. It's only 30 degrees today, it's not that bad. It's like... yeah, it is. It's really bad. But yeah, I've been out all day. I was at church most of the day. It was because the sermons they're like 2 hours, and then I went to get some shawarma. And then I did some shopping, and then I came home. And even in the middle of the night, like it's like 10 p.m, it's still like 30 degrees and the humidity is so hot. When you're hauling like 10 liters of water on your back like up the fucking mountain, and that heat, oh man, it takes it fucking out of you, man. And I hardly eaten today. Had the shawarma. That's pretty much it. So it's probably just gonna be a short one tonight. I've got to get up early in the morning. Caster. But yeah, I've been playing Amazon. So I have been grinding a little bit on gear. I should have some extra stuff. Might switch out to... oh yeah, I had a nice hat actually. +2 molten boulder. Man, I'm sure I had something else. Oh yeah, I got this club. Adds 1 to 5 lightning. +2 werewolf. Oh yeah, this one, this ethereal one. That adds like lycanthropy. I'm gonna switch out to that. This shield. 10% increased chance of blocking, 5 mana. am starving, and then I've got like a couple brownies here. Oh man, they're so good. I'm like such a chocoholic, man. I'm such a fat, smelly bastard for some chocolate. I got a couple brownies. I'm gonna have to eat them tonight because I have to fast for 1 week. I have to fast for like a whole week tomorrow. Oh yeah, this unique club plus free to lycanthropy. That was actually the one I remembered. That's a keeper right there. But yeah, I got a 1 week fast. So I better get that fucking chocolate in me now and say goodbye for a little while. But I'm feeling pretty sharp on this game. I got through Act 2 really fast on my Amazon. So I know what I'm doing. Hopefully we'll get it done for the same. And it's kind of weird because I'm used to having a lot more minions. But now I'm just going all ravens and in on this werebear. Let me have a look at my skills. Yeah, I pretty much put everything into ravens. Some into twister. But now I have like free werebear, free lycanthropy. I'm liking the lycanthropy quite a lot, especially because I can summon with it as well. And if I remember right, I did do sewers last time, so we just need to like...
They say that the...
get into the desert and get the Heraldric Cube and the staff, and then just bomb into Duriel. And I know Duriel's gonna get fucked. To be honest, I might need to get some more summons just to get a little bit of tankage for Duriel, but on Amazon, I fucking annihilated her, man. I feel like she's nerfed. I thought that we were gonna have trouble with her, but actually, she's like nerfed. And I'm more just like thirsty right now because I had a shawarma. And the shawarma here's fucking massive. I swear, like, Georgia is the only country where I get a small. Because the small's fucking massive. And you get a large and you're like, what the fuck is this? I don't know if I told you, but there's this place in Tbilisi called McShawarma. And if you get a large one, like, you know, you come from UK or, I don't know, like any European country, like, you go to like an Asian place, you're like, yeah, I'll get the big one, like, give me the extra large cheeseburger, give me the extra large meal. You go to McShawarma, you get an extra large, I swear to God, man, it's like 2 foot long. It's like 2 fucking foot. Like, you have to hoist the thing over your back shoulder just to fucking carry it. Like, it is too big. It's fucking huge. It's enough food to last you days. Like, seriously. Plus they give you chips with it, plus they give you a huge fucking drink with it. Once you've had one, I feel like you go to McShawarma once you have an XL and you're like, never again. Like, that's enough McShawarma to last me a fucking lifetime. Yeah, the portions are big on everything. They don't have, you know how in the UK and the EU they kind of have that stuff to kind of stop you from eating too much food? where like they can't have more than a certain amount of calories per bag, or if they do, it has to have stuff on it that says like "share me," just so it's not like it can't be considered a portion for one person. They don't have that here, and you kind of take it for granted, like back in the UK, because honestly, back in the UK, especially how they have to take all the sugar out of everything, you're like, I wish we didn't even have that, so we could still have like big bags of crisps and like big chocolate bars and stuff. But I had like this big bag of chocolate truffles, and I was getting them like regularly, like once a week. And I would eat like the whole fucking bag in one day. Then one day, I looked at the back of the packet to see actually how many calories were in it. Man, it had 9,000 calories. 9,000 calories in the bag. I was like, what? I've been eating like 9,000 calories of sugar and chocolate in one sitting. I was like, fuck me, dude. That's like more calories than the fucking Rock eats, man. And then it makes you kind of think, like, maybe there should be regulations stopping people putting 9,000 calories in a bag of fucking chocolates. It's quite an unhealthy place to live because that bag of chocolates costs like 80 pence. Costs like 80p for like a big fucking bag of them. Really good as well, like really fucking nice. But it's quite easy to be unhealthy here because like a packet of smokes, like you can get 26 for fucking 80p. To be honest, you could get like 26 for like 60p if you get the cheap ones, or if you buy like them at the market. If you buy them on like the roadside markets, you can get cigarettes for like nothing. So like, it's so common here that when like the dudes go to the shop for smokes, they come back with like 20 packs. Like they just get like a carrier bag and like put like 20 packs of fucking smokes in it, and then it's like, yeah, that's like my smokes for like the week. And you just, everyone here smokes like fuck, man. Even like, there was this one time I was at like spa, and it had an outdoor swimming pool like on the rooftop. It was quite nice, but everyone was smoking next to like the outdoor pool on the rooftop. I asked this guy if I can have a smoke because it's actually really bad crack if you if someone asks you for a smoke in Georgia and you say no. It's like worse than telling someone to fuck off. I've literally never asked anyone for a cigarette and they've told me no. Like never. Like I asked someone for a cigarette today and he was like, oh, have 4. And I was like, I don't want 4, I just want 1. And he's like, no, take 4. Come on, take 4. Just have 4 smokes. But when I was at that rooftop pool and I asked the guy for a smoke, he was like, yeah, there you go, there's a smoke. And then I was talking to him for a bit, and then after I finish my smoke, he just automatically gives me another one, and I'm like, nah, I'm fine. It's like, I just had one, And he's like, oh, nah, you've got to have 2. He's like, that's the second one, like you have 1 smoke and then you have your second one. And it's like, that's the culture here. It's like, yeah, I have my first I have a fag, then I have another fag, and then maybe like 5 minutes later I'll have a fag. I'll go to the car, drive home, spark up a fag, or you're like waiting on the bus, smoke a fag, get off the bus, smoke a fag, walking on the way home, smoke a fag, go to the shops, smoke a fag outside, get home, smoke a couple fags, wake up in the morning, like smoke 2 fags, have a shower, smoke a fag, like that's what it's like here. And you realize like how much you're getting taxed out your fucking ass, smokes. And in Georgia, it's nothing. It's literally nothing. You don't even think. Majority of the cost of stuff in the UK is just tax. It's only really like super cheap if you buy Georgian booze. If you buy booze from somewhere else, it's not that cheap. But I bought like this really fucking nice bottle of red wine, and it cost me less than £1. Got like a really, really nice bottle of red wine, and it cost me like 80 pence. If you go to touristy places, then they'll charge you more. They'll charge you like EU prices. But if you go to like a local place, you go to like a real Georgian place, it's always like cheap as fuck. And like just today on the way home, I got like a big bag of fruit. Like I got a couple of apples, a couple of like nectarines, like some plums, some like exotic fruits that I've never even seen before. Just a bunch of shit. Just like, must have been like 2-3 kilograms of fruit. And it cost me 40p for all of it. Which is fucking insane. You know, that's like 30 cents on the USD. Like absolutely insane price. To be fair though, I think like she was doing me a deal because she knows me quite well, and she knows me quite well, so I had a feeling that she was just giving me like a really good deal today. Because she didn't even weigh them individually. She was just like, just put them all on the scale at the same time, and I'll just give you them all for the same price. So she probably just gave me the whole bag of fruit and then put it in all as in like the cheapest fruit that they had, like fucking apples or something. Yeah, the bills are cheap as well. Like, you know how much my gas bill was for the month? £1.80. £1.80 for my gas bill for an entire month. Oh no, sorry, it's £2.40. £2.40 it was. When you compare all that shit back home, where it's like, oh, gas prices are going up, gas prices going through the roof, we have to charge you so much for gas because Russia and all this shit. And then even in Georgia, they're like right next to Russia, and the gas doesn't even come from Russia, and it costs like fucking nothing. It actually costs like nothing. And that's like, you know, showers, I have a gas cooker, To be fair, the heating hasn't been on at all because it's like 35 degrees outside. But yeah, even still, it does make you realize how everyone else is just getting like fed a load of shit and taxed out their ass and extorted by all the energy companies. I actually live off the interest pretty much because on the Georgian bank accounts, like on my one anyway, every time I make a transaction I get cash back, so I get points on my card, and then all my spending that I just spend on like normal stuff throughout the whole month, by the time my bills come in, I just use the points that I got on my card for cash back, so my bills cost me nothing. It doesn't even take money out of my account. I just use the points that I got. I think this month my electricity bill was my electricity bill was £8, which is quite a lot. Like, it's just fucked to say, because honestly my electricity bill was £8 and my whole energy cost for the month was like £10 max. But yeah, I spent like £8 on electricity this month, and that was pretty much just because I had the air conditioning on like constantly, and I was charging up my power bank quite regularly. So pretty much that was like the max I would ever pay, and that was me using the electricity like 24/7 at like max capacity. But sometimes the power goes out and when the fucking electricity goes out, it's like, it's fucking horrible. Because I think it was like last month the electricity went off in the middle of the night. It was like started at like 10 p.m. and it didn't go back on until like 6 in the morning. So it was like fucking terrible. You couldn't have aircon on, you couldn't turn your lights on, you couldn't like fucking use a laptop, you couldn't have like Bluetooth speaker on, you couldn't charge your phones. And that also meant that the water's off, because most of the water relies on like a little electric switch to like activate the pump. So you got no water, you got no electricity, you're just like stuck in the fucking dark. And that is like, that is so shit when that happens. When that happens, it makes you feel like you're living in a third world fucking country. Yeah, I need to get candles. My landlady says I'm not allowed to have them in the house, so it's just like. She said she was going to buy me a battery-powered lamp, but she hasn't done it yet. But she was like, yeah, don't use candles because you could set the house on fire. I was like, I'm not, but I'll do what you tell me, since it's so fucking cheap. Cause yeah, my rent's like $250 a month. Really can't complain. when you're paying so little. But it is really shit when it happens, especially when there's lots of dogs barking outside. And like the last time it happened, just bad luck or just lack of planning. I never charged any of my devices up, so I had like no battery in my laptop. I had hardly any battery in my phone. I had no battery in my Bluetooth speaker, so I was just sitting in the dark. And it ended up being like, you know what, fuck this, because I'm listening to all these dogs bark outside. Because there's fucking like hundreds of street dogs. And they're all just barking and going crazy. And I was like, yeah, I can't fuck just sitting here, lying here, doing fucking nothing. Listening to all these fucking dogs bark. So I went like down the street. I went like down the high street. And I bought like a bottle of brandy. Again, for like 70p. The bottle of brandy was like 70p. Really nice brandy as well. And then I bought a pack of smoke and like some fucking Doritos. And just like ate a bag of Doritos and got fucked up in the street till the lights came back on. But you can't really plan too hard here. It's just like, you know, you could have a tight schedule on work or the gym. And you're like, I'm gonna do this tomorrow, and then it's like, actually, like the power went off last night, so I couldn't do all this shit. And then maybe like the bus is late, or it's just quite like an unreliable place to live, but it's very, very cheap. Yeah, I'm actually way preferring my Amazon to my Druid now. I feel like my Druid's kind of slow. My Amazon was just ripping through the fucking game. Fucking Burjomi. Best fucking water, man. Burjomi. Best fucking water. When the power went out last time, right? It was out. I mean, like, it was out nationally. The entirety of Georgia. Which was just fucked up to me. It wasn't the first time it happened either. There's been 2 times in the past, like, 3 months where every single place in the entire fucking country had no power. And to me, that was just like, what? Like, that is like bizarre. Because if that happened in the UK, it would be at the front of it would be front page and all the neighbours. It would be on the news. It would be absolutely everywhere. Whatever government was in power would be getting absolutely ripped apart. People saying this is completely unacceptable. Here it's like, oh, the power's out. It's like, yeah. It's like, why is the power out? Don't know. And I live like right next to the electricity grid, like one of the main electricity power stations. And even that had no power. It's kind of a basic shitty ass ping on this server though. Might be that a little bit. My Ravens are still kicking ass though. Maybe I should go Werebear. Get hard the Wolverine. I should maybe like try and get a couple of wolves for Duriel. Good thing is I can respec as much as I want. I don't need to worry about all this. Oh, I can only respec 3 times. Can just do what I want. Feels good. Way more freedom. Actually, have to build yourself some charms. Like a little charm build. Charming. Let's get that Wolverine. Where's that charm? I just picked up a grand charm. Oh, it's a small charm. But yeah, I'm slowly integrating into society here. It's weird, right? Because I don't know the language. I haven't really been studying more of the language. I've been picking up more words here and there. But I've gotten way better at understanding what people are saying to me. Like, for some reason, even though I don't know what they're saying, I'm like, yeah, or like, no. And I like understand what they said. I understand like what they're asking me and can communicate like a bit better. It's fucking weird because I don't actually know what they're saying. I'm like, how did I do that? I'm literally wondering to myself, how did I know what he was saying to me? And everybody knows me, which is really nice. Like, you know, I can't go down the street without seeing everyone in the community and saying hello everyone, and everybody knows you. Like, everybody's really nice and polite. And a few people have been saying to me, it's like, oh, why aren't you gonna get a Georgian wife? Like, you need to get a Georgian wife. think that's the talk of the town right now. Is like, why is Johnny not got a wife and kids? Even the priest, like the priest today was like, so like you stay with your wife and kids, and I'm like, nah, I don't got a wife and kids, I'm just single. And he's like, what? He's like, why have you not got a wife and kids, man? He's like, you're 30. He's like, why the fuck do you not have a wife and kids? It's like, what? Just go get one. Like, go get a wife and a kid. Like it's a fucking car or something. They don't understand though. It's like, I don't have a wife and kid because I was born in the 90s. Like, here, it's still like, you know, you're 20, it's like time to get married, pop a couple kids out. What the fuck is going on? I mean, I wouldn't say no to a nice Georgian girl, but they're way more traditional as well. It's like if you're going to be with a Georgian girl, I think like wife and kids is like having a family and kids is way more expected, and you have to be part of her family, and it's way more like traditional, and I'm just not like that kind of guy, really. Yeah. Especially when I don't even speak the fucking language. It's just... And I think like with a lot of the girls my age here, they kind of like don't want to talk to me because it's a small town, and I don't think any of them really kind of want to be like the guy that's with the foreigner, if that makes sense. Because again, it's like traditional. They want something regular, like standard. To be like with the guy from another country that doesn't speak the language and all that is probably like a bit not taboo, just irregular, which isn't frowned upon, but it's like, you know, being different isn't too of a big thing here. Yo, you know ya. How are you doing, man? Good to see you. Let's get out of this server because it's shit anyway. Let's try west. Oh yeah, that's much better. A retro cube.
Greetings.
Yeah, fuck it, let's just sell this club. I already started hoarding quite a lot of gear already. And I'm kinda like, yeah, I just need to get rid of this shit. guess I can start like mixing rings and amis up again. Also start mixing jewels up, but even with all this extra stash space in PD2, I could still hoard like crazy. The game drops so many juves as well compared to the OG, which is really nice. Get juves all the time. I got quite a lot of runes now. Some of these shards. I wonder why you can stack Kalim's eye and brain and shit, right? Because that's like a story item. There's a tab here somewhere. That's like just rings and shit. Yeah, let me see if I can craft an ami. Let's try this. I feel like it's such a waste of time crafting amis, honestly. So you might as well just gamble and buy one. I don't know why that wasn't selling. Honestly, I kind of feel like playing my Amazon. Man, look at this shitty ping. Yeah, I'd rather play offline. It's too bad that you can't just turn your I mean, I feel like they're asking me that because I've been here for so long now. You know, and I'm like a resident in town. It's not just a de facto. Like, people ask if you got wife and kids all the time. I feel like it's more just the villagers being like, oh, well, if you're gonna stay here, then, you know, you should get married and have some kids. It's not like a bad thing at all here. It's like people have told me, like, I really hope that you buy a house or build a house and find a wife in Georgia and you have some kids and you raise a family in Georgia. To them, it's like the highest honor. I wouldn't mind a Georgian wife. I don't think I would get along. I don't think I get along good with Georgian girls. Not as good as I do with other women. But I definitely don't want to have kids in Georgia. If I was going to have kids, I wouldn't raise them in Georgia. Because the education system here is like fucking terrible. And if they were Georgian, it's kind of like, okay, like, yeah, it's cheap here. At the same time, my money doesn't come from here. If my money came from here, it's like, you know, I can stay in Georgia and I'm pretty well off. But if you're born in Georgia, you work in Georgia, you can't move anywhere. You're stuck in Georgia. You make like nothing. Bad education system, like very poor opportunities for the residents. So I would have a Georgian wife, but I wouldn't have Georgian kids. If I ever had children, I would want better for them. Not to be raised somewhere where like stray dogs and trash everywhere is the norm. And being like a native Georgian, I don't know, would be difficult for me because I'm a native English speaker, and I just feel like as an English speaker we have so many more possibilities and opportunities, which is not like Georgia's fault or anything, but you know, the amount of books I can read as an English speaker compared to a Georgian is huge. Like, I can pretty much read every book in the world. Films in my native language or have them like subtitled. Like, might seem like a stupid thing, but like, oh man, this you're like making online. You're like making on. Why does it do this? Oh well. Might be the end though. Says it won't even let me join a game, for fuck's sake. Where's the exit? I feel like the exit was in the same place all the time. I'm resurrected. But yeah, any character that I make from here on, I'm just doing it single player because the servers are fucking ass on Project Diablo 2. Even worse than Path of Exile. And they shouldn't even have it. It's like their run servers, they should just let you open your own server. Should just let you open your own private server. At least then if you're playing on your own, you would have perfect connection. Might give that to Miami. There's a 2-socket bow. Meh. Maybe look to make the greed bow, the one that gives you cheaper vendor prices, so I can get us like some gambling in it. Loot's been okay since I started playing this. But it is pretty good for normal so far. I wish, like, I need to get something like faster run walk speed though. Like, look at this shit. Is that even lag or is it just like stuck behind a rock? That's what I hate about when you get in a game that has shitty servers or something and then you start gaslighting yourself. Like, is this lag or is that just like something wrong with the game? But yeah, I might turn into an Amazon main. Oh man, this fucking ping. It's unbearable, man. You told me the servers were good, Nanoya. Yeah, you told me these servers were good. You were like, oh, you can just join this server. You can just join this server. You just wanted a Diablo 2 friend so bad you did not consider if this would be enjoyable for me and if this would be good for my stream. Yeah, fuck online. Bro, I literally told you where I was living when we were talking about it, and you're like, oh, it'll be fine, you can just join this server, you can just join this server, or I'll join this server. I might need to. Like, if it doesn't, like, it causes me so much frustration. Even when I'm playing on my own, and it's like, oh, you have to leave the game in fucking 20 minutes, or you only have like an hour to play this game, and then you have to get out. It's like, man, I wish I just played as a single player character, so I didn't have to deal with all this stupid shit. And then server quality, because I work for US companies, not right now, but I have done, and I got ping of like 107 max with LA. Like, I got really good ping right in the other side of the world for like tech companies, like people that made good servers. They did a good, like, Project Diablo 2 devs, they did a good job on everything else except the servers. The servers are, like, some of the worst I've ever played. And funnily enough, every Diablo 2 video I look up for Project Diablo 2 is offline. No, that's not what you said, no. You said make an online one so we can play together, which is fair enough, but I was like, I don't know if it's going to be good enough or if it's just going to lag like shit, and you're like, oh, it'll be fine. Just make an online character. It's trash. Like, we'd never even be able to play together anyway because the connection's just that fucking bad on every server. Like, you click shrines like 20 times and then it finally registers. It's like... +3 werebear, nice. What sucks though is I'm getting this good gear, I'm just gonna have to like throw all away because the connection's that fucking bad. Like, I can't play the game with like a 5-second lag to everything. Especially when it starts getting later on into the game, and then I'm having like, even if my connection's good sometimes, I don't want it good sometimes. I don't want to log onto the game when I want to play it, and then it's like, oh, the connection shit today, so I guess I just don't play it. It's like, fuck that. I'm gonna have to delete or start afresh on offline, because this is just. I never wanted to play Heroes of the Storm. I don't like MOBA. But you were literally saying like, oh, just make an online character, and I'm saying I don't think it. Maybe it won't be good because I'm so far away, and then you're like, oh, you can just join a server that's close, and then I'll join this one and it's fine. Like it'll be fine. It's good. It's like it's not fine. And I never wanted to play Heroes of the Storm. And it's like every server is shit. And then you join them, it's like, oh, you have to make a new game in half an hour. It's fucking annoying, man. It's kind of pointless because I'm like, oh, I got unique gloves, like nice. Get unique gloves, and then it's like, oh, doesn't matter because I'm gonna have to delete all this shit anyway. And that's a really nice pair of gloves. Like that's a peak pair of gloves. Like 3% mana, 3% life stolen, 10 defense, 20 mana, poison resist. But yeah, I might just call it quits tonight anyway. It was going to be a short one. Click to identify, click it like 40 times, there's like nothing. But I gotta get baptized. I'm gonna get baptized tomorrow. So I gotta get up at like 9 a.m. Or I gotta get up at like 7 a.m. and be at the church for like 9 a.m. And then I'm gonna get baptized. And have my Holy Communion. And then I'll have my Eucharist. And then confess my sins. I don't know if there's anything after that. But I got a bunch of holy water. I got like 2 fucking liters of holy water. It's like nice. And I'm gonna like bless my room. I'm gonna like bless my house. I'm gonna pour some water around the outskirts of my house. Cause that like demon has been following me. Or not following me, it's been coming at me like every night. Just keeps getting more regular and regular. And I wake up at the same time every single night. Like every single night that it happens, I wake up at the exact same time. Like to the minute. Like bang on exactly the same time. Can't move, can't breathe. I'm hearing like screaming. I'm hearing like screaming of like 1,000 people all at the same time. But like off in the distance, like in my head. And I'm feeling this like crushing weight. And I'm hearing these sounds of like banging on the door, like bang, 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 bang. And like banging on the ceiling and banging on the roof. And something like running about the floor. And I'm like opening my eyes, and every time, like I'm not scared. Like the priest was like, don't be afraid. Like the demons, like they can't hurt you. But I'm like, I'm not afraid. It's just, you just don't want it to happen. It's annoying. It's annoying as fuck. And then each time, like I'm in my bed, I'm hearing all this crazy stuff going on around me. And then I'm just doing like the cross and like asking Jesus like for protection, or like give me control of my body again, and let me stand up and let me be awake. And then I'll get awake, and then the like banging and like the screaming stops, and it dies down a little bit. And then I get out of my bed, and there's like demonic, like black, oppressive, evil presence like watching me. Like you can feel his eyes like watching you, like the skin crawling up all of your body, just like leering at you. Just like really leering at you and watching you and focus and like sending this energy at you. And you're like, man, I'm fucking tired. Like, get fuck off. Like, I'm fucking done with this. It's not like I'm sitting there like, oh, it's a demon. I'm like, fuck's sake, man. Like, again? Like, go away. So then you have to get up, get the crucifix out, tell it in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. You're commanded to get out of the house, like you're expelled, like don't come back. Close all the windows. Just cast it out, and then I'll play the Gospels on my Bluetooth speaker. And it's still there, like it doesn't go away. Until like an hour later. It takes a while for the energy to just like disappear and like actually go away. And it just keeps coming back. Like all the time. It's coming back like 3 times a week now. And so today I was just like, you know what, like fuck it, I'm going to church. And you like see what the priest has to say. I'll get like some holy water and just get like a blessing and shit. And then he was like, like probably one of the reasons that you're getting attacked by the demons so much is because you're not baptized by the Orthodox Church. I was just like, baptize me then. And he was like, what? Like, you want baptized? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Like, let's go, let's do it. Like, right now. And he's like, I can't do it right now, but I can do it tomorrow morning. So I was like, yeah, sound. So I'll like sprinkle the place up with holy water, and I'll bless the house. And then I get baptized tomorrow. And I'm pretty sure it'll do a lot of good, honestly. I think maybe he was exaggerating a little bit by acting like if I just simply get baptized, then I'll stop getting the attacks, I'll stop getting the spiritual attacks, I'll stop getting the dark forces like coming towards me, but like it'll definitely do some good. Like there's no doubt about it. Like the holy water will do a lot of good, 100%. I already had that in mind. Like yeah, I gotta get some holy water, and that should help. And the baptism, I was like, I don't really think the baptism is gonna just like overnight, like boom, but maybe it will, because it could be like a Georgian demon or like a Georgian ghost or something like that, and so you have to like abide by the powers of like the places that you're at. So maybe being baptized would like help a lot, and if I'm baptized by the Orthodox Church, then probably like the demons here are gonna have like a lot less power over me, just because it's like a Georgian land and Georgian power here, you know. Nah, it's not the house. The presence comes in the house. There's like nothing in the house because I'm the second person to live ever in the house. I'm the second person to ever live in this house. And the person that lived here before was like the famous sumo wrestler. Like there's a really famous Georgian sumo wrestler, and he stayed here with his Chinese like sumo friend, and their family is like my landlord's family. So like they're good guys, and it's definitely not like a spirit in the house or like a ghost in the house from some bad stuff happening or like regressive energy. Because it comes into the house, like it physically comes into the house in the middle of the night, and then it starts watching me, and then it starts sending like attacks, and I hear like the screaming. And I don't know why it's attracted to me. Not being baptized in this foreign land could have something to do with it. Like maybe I'm just more vulnerable because I don't have the same like holy protection that other people have, so like I'm easy target. Maybe it's because I'm a foreigner. You know, maybe I have like a different like energy signature to a normal person in this country. And maybe it's like attracting something to me. Maybe there's just like someone's casting black magic on me. I felt like that as well. Like there's a few people out there that could be casting black magic, and it could be doing spells on me. And like sending astral attacks and spiritual attacks to me. Or the other thing is like maybe it's my own past. Like maybe I have like deep rooted memories and traumas that act as like a catalyst for that type of energy or that type of entity to try and like feed off me or attack me. But the priest was like, like, you sure it's not psychological? Because sometimes it can be like something in your head, and I'm like, nah, it's definitely not psychological. Because it's like, it's completely externalized, and I can sense exactly where the presence is. I mean, it's like, it's right there, it's over there, it does X, Y, and Z to me. I invoke for holy protection. I'm not like totally alarmed or like scared. I'm just like more like bothered and annoyed by it at this point. It was disturbing at first, but it's an external force. It's not something within me. It's like a demon, whether someone's casting it towards me or it's got like something to do with like the devil or like the demons in this place. I don't know. And I think the landlady, I told my landlady, I was like, yeah, I need to see a priest. Or like a wise woman or something, like some local like healer in the village. Because there's like black demons like in the house, and I think she was a bit like, fuck's sake, like I'm probably gonna have to like bless the house and clean the house, and obviously she's like, yeah, there's no way that there was anything there. There's no way that there was anything in that house before you came. But she wasn't like pissed off. She was just like, it's strange that like this has happened to you. But whatever it is, it's like the same resolution anyway. If it's, like, whatever it is, like, God will protect me much the same way. If it's witchcraft, you know, if someone's putting curses on me, someone's sending, like, spirits to harass me, like, God will protect me. If it's like an actual demon, like demonic forces acting of like their own will, God will protect me. If it's psychological, God won't protect me in the same way, but if I abide by like God's and Jesus Christ like teaching, and I do like good in my life and I don't like commit sin, then I shouldn't have any issues like that. So yeah, I'm just gonna, I've already got my holy water. I like wearing my crucifix all the time now. I'm just like never gonna take my crucifix off now. And the priest like gave me his ring. The priest like gave me like his ring, and he says like this ring will protect you from the demons. And he says like if I wake up and the demonic force is over there again, then I should move the beads like on the ring and just say like, Jesus Christ bless me, Jesus Christ bless me, Jesus Christ bless me, Jesus Christ bless me, and like turn the rosaries like around my hand. And he says like God will protect me, like no doubt about it. Yeah, I'm gonna get baptized tomorrow. And then I have to fast for 1 week, and have to do the confession, and I have to do my Holy Communion, and then I have to do like the Eucharist with like the bread and the wine. I don't know if it's in that order, but like I'll see tomorrow. And then I gotta, yeah, I'll start going to church like every Sunday, and I'll just like start meditating a lot more and praying a lot more at night, because I just should be doing that stuff anyway, and that'll keep me like mentally are spiritually healthy and spiritually like exercised. Not like exorcise, like exercise, like. But yeah, it's all good. I used to have these demons attack me quite a lot from a young age. Came like on and off in my life. But it was kind of it was different. It was different back home. Back home, it did feel like more psychological, and there was a difference to the presence. But this time, it's like I keep waking up at the exact same time. That's one of the things that really just creeps me out. It makes me feel like, yeah, this is definitely not just random like sleep hallucinations or whatever. This is definitely not just like random problem, because I'm waking up at bang on the exact same time at a very, very like important number. It's a very, very important like spiritual number that makes me feel like I'm being sent messages. When I look at the clock and I see that, and I'm like, this is beyond coincidental. Something's clearly going on here that reeks of sorcery. Whether it's like demonic energy or just straight out sorcery, something's. But yeah, I think if you assert your dominance that way, I think like the negative energy can kind of warp and go like against you, because I think on the one hand, if someone's doing witchcraft on you, they're trying to evoke an emotional response out of you, right? So if you have someone doing astral attacks on you, like curses, and they're trying to fuck with you in a big way, they're trying to like disrupt you emotionally. So if you get very angry and violent and aggressive and like pent up, it can kind of give it more power and make the whole situation worse. But if you have real demons coming against you, don't get angry. Don't get angry and don't like get super violent, because they like love that shit. But I'm not one of these people that's like kill with kindness, like kill the demon with love or some shit. Like, this is Georgia. This is the land of St. George, like the man who went out and slayed the demons. He went to war with demons with the sword and physically like killed the dragon, killed the serpents. So yeah, like you gotta use like your astral body and your astral mind to be like a samurai and fight back fearlessly, without anger, without hatred, just like with the pure energy of the Lord behind you. Sort of like a Hura Mazda going off against the Dark Ones. You gotta be strong for that though. Because most people, this stuff happens to them, they'll get fucking scared, right? I was fucking scared the first time that happened to me. Especially when I was a kid. You know, at like a very young age. And you start encountering demons trying to possess you. And moving objects around and seeing stuff, seeing magical things happen around you that like breaks the rules of reality. It's very, very frightening. So for most people, they are not going to be able to cope. They're not going to be able to handle it. They won't have like the mental fortitude to just go within themselves and slay that type of entity. But I can do it. I've done that stuff before. I'm ready for it. That's why it's like I wake up. I'm not even totally alarmed. I'm just more like annoyed and like fuck's sake, man. Like again, like just go away. And I'm not fucking around. I'm not going on some like astral quest inside myself and meditating so much and getting rid of this thing. It's like, nah, just get the protection of the priest. Just get some fucking holy water. And maybe get some incense and frankincense and like, just get it out. I'm not wasting my time on it. Start giving those things too much energy, the more power they have over you. You start spending every waking moment like fucking thinking about it. It's like the black magician wins, starts disrupting your life, and you start getting paranoid and all this shit. Sometimes you just gotta be simple. That's how a simple religion can save a lot of people. Because if you actually just believe, oh yeah, I've got holy water, like we're all good, probably be fine. Like your faith is very, very strong. My faith in Jesus Christ is very, very strong. So I don't physically need to slay these demons. Jesus Christ will do it for me. I do need to be definitely more upright though. Like I need to improve myself a lot, like spiritually. I feel like I've been quite unclean recently, especially compared to how I was. I used to be like a lot more upright and clean and motivated spiritually, but more recently I've just been more concerned with making money and like fucking girls and eating and more just like living a life of flesh, not like in a super demonic or bad way, you know, nothing like too bad, but definitely it could be a lot better. And I've got like a strong energy, like I have a bright flame in me. So demons obviously want to fuck with me and stray me off the path. And I think maybe I've just been strayed a little bit too far off the path recently, and I need to just like clean myself up and get back to a spiritual life, not like full on, but need more connection, need like a better relationship with God, and need to just be less concerned with material things. I need to be more introspective and reflective. And ultimately, I think one of the best things I can do is to stop living life for myself. And I'm always thinking about myself, right? I'm always thinking about how can I make my life better, or when I'm trying to make money, I'm like, oh, I wish I had freedom so I could do this and I could do that and I could do that. And I could go to this country and I could eat this food and I could have these women. And it's just like falling for Mammon's gains. Obviously, you need to protect yourself. You need to have like some security. But I should be motivating myself more like, it'd be so good if I could have extra money so that I could help other people. Maybe, you know, like, oh, I wish I could do something to change this problem in this world, and maybe there's just little things I could do that could make the world a better place if I had a little bit more to give, and how could I make other people's lives just a little bit better and do something kind for other people. And I think that's kind of what I've been missing from my life. I'm just a little bit too selfish, and I'm always just thinking about what's good for me, and I'm not thinking about how I can sacrifice myself for like the good of other people and the good of the world. I think that maybe is just holding me back a little bit from reaching my true potential as like a human being and like a servant of Christ or like a Buddhist. Because if you're always just constantly thinking about yourself and you're never thinking about like what you can do to actually contribute to the world, even if it's just small things, then you kind of just wasting your life, right? And you're not living up to what you can actually do. Like you're just kind of living a life of self-indulgence, and the be all and end all is your own contentment. So I'm hoping that in the future, or like as I grow as a person, I can learn more about giving instead of just thinking about what I can do for myself, basically. Because I've never really considered myself a materialistic person.
Greetings.
You need to do more, Nanoya.
The staff.
I love you too, Nanoya. I'm telling you right now, you need to do more. You gotta be on the same wavelength, man. Everyone's got to do a bit more, I think. And look at this fucking lag. This is what I'm saying to you, man. Hello? Can I click on a fucking scroll? Shit, it's like, what is this? Like 2001? Is this like when the game came out? PD2, go back to dial-up modems. It says my ping's only 141 as well. Used to spend hundreds of hours to help people farm for them on Project Diablo 2. Like, what the fuck are you smoking, Nanoya? Like, do you think that's what God wants from you in your life, man? Do you think that's what God put you on this earth to do? So you could help people playing Project Diablo 2 and farming rooms for people. And what do you expect if you're going to say that you're help everyone farm? You know, if you give a man a fish, you'll feed him for a day. Give him a fishing rod, you'll feed him forever. Yeah, I'm not like crazy religious because, for instance, like the Orthodox Church, I think the Orthodox Church are pretty based, not gonna lie. I think in terms of Christianity and all the like major institutions that they are, the Orthodox has got the most weight behind them, and they have like the best traditions behind them. And Protestantism, I don't even think that's a real religion. I think Protestantism has just gotten kind of crazy, and it's kind of just been the destruction of Christianity, because I used to think that it was good that we broke away from papacy and gave people the choice to interpret the Bible in their own way. But the reality is when you do that and there isn't any real like central authority, Christianity doesn't have any meaning, or there's no truth to it or traditions to it beyond what people just make them up to be. So it's kind of a bad thing in the long term. Even though I think there's good people in all denominations. But then Catholicism is so corrupt, like the Catholic Church is so fucking corrupt, especially after World War II, and they made Vatican II, and they just change everything so much. Like, the Catholics change what's right and what's wrong, and what we should be praying for, and what we should be doing all the time, and the authority is too intense. But even with like Orthodox, I don't think it's a perfect institution. I don't think there is a perfect institution. I don't have blind faith. Even outside of Christianity, like I see good in all religions. I see wisdom in like all the major religions. There's something to learn from them all. So I wouldn't say I'm so much of a religious person as reincarnation and all the other things that go sort of like part and parcel with religion. So I obviously have to have like some sort of mental framework to like piece that all together. There's so much to feel like so dated in so many ways. Really fully understand, and you feel like it doesn't fully explain everything in the modern world, and there's lots of paradoxes and things going wrong. And don't know, it's hard to. But I think like being religious in general is better than having no faith. Because if you don't have any faith and you don't believe in play this trash anymore, man. Because it's fucking on their servers out. They need to sort their servers out. Catholic priests pray to Virgin Mary and bow down to images. Yeah, so does like every Christian, man. Like Protestants do that, Orthodox do that, Catholics do that. The thing with religion as well, right? It's like we can shit on the institutions for all the flaws that they have, but where would we honestly be without them? Like if there wasn't groups and there wasn't traditions advocating this stuff, like carrying on, having faith, we probably wouldn't even know about Jesus Christ. We probably wouldn't even know. Like if you were Buddhist, you wouldn't know about Buddha. If you're Muslim, you wouldn't know about Allah or Muhammad. If you were Hindus, you wouldn't know about all these stories because people just wouldn't find them important or have that way to like pass down that knowledge and keep it maintained without having that centered foundation of belief. So even if people don't want to follow it, I'm not one of these people like, oh, if you don't get baptized by this church or that church, then you're going to hell or some stupid shit like that. But I do think it's important that some people were there to like carry the torch from one generation to the other and act as a beacon and to build monuments and to like really put it in the forefront of our life to like preserve the history, to preserve the faith and like what it means to them. We live in a free world, so there's no pressure. Like if you don't want to join this church or that church, you don't want to do that prayer or that prayer, like everyone's free to do what they want. So I think we're all in a pretty good position to take the good and the bad of things as we see fit to our own accord. It's not like back in medieval times where, you know, you're not going to church and everyone will start like judging you or you get like excommunicated from society. We all have like a fair degree of freedom, so I think the badness comes through it where you have like Jehovah Witnesses or evangelicals or just people from all faiths. It doesn't matter if it's Islam, whatever. It's just overly aggressive and trying to force you to believe in something and try and command you like this is the way things are. I think that's when like a religion can get really toxic. But one thing that's actually really good about having a religious perspective is if I was back in the UK, or probably like most of Europe, Probably like all of Europe at this point, most of the US. And I said, oh, there's this demon, keeps waking me up at night, keeps like attacking me, keep waking up at exact same time, each day, each night. Feel the presence in the exact same place, like do X, Y, and Z. If I was in the UK or the EU and I said that, people would say, oh, you're crazy, like you're just fucked up in the head, like you need to go see a doctor, go see a doctor. Doctor says, hey, why don't you take all these poisons? We'll give you some poisons that'll fuck with the neural wiring in your brain and in your mind and like incapacitate you, maybe put some weight on, make you lazy, just basically like a load of shit. Whilst in Georgia, in a country that's very openly religious, very openly spiritual in that Christian way, I'm literally like going down to the church, yo, there's a demon attacking me. It's like, cool, man, like, we'll get you some holy water. Like, way, way better than pumping you up full of fucking meds. Like, they believe in it. If you say, oh, there's a demon, they're not just like, oh, you're crazy. And that's what atheism's done to the West. It's like, the greatest trick that the devil ever pulled is convincing everyone that he doesn't exist. And that's exactly what he's done in the West. Because in the West, it's like there's no God, there's no devil, there's no demons, there's no angels, there's just us and there's just the flesh. So, like, take your pills, go to work. There's nothing more to this life or this world. That's it. And that's a horrible, like, disgusting universe to be in. And without religion, that's just what corporatism and big governments are going to do, you know. So we need religious forces in the world to preserve reality and remind people that there is a world beyond death and there does exist a thing such as a soul. Because without that, all these governments just turn us into fucking slaves, where there's nothing in the world except our bodies and our minds, and that just completely saps the life out of everything. I used to be against Islam, but I'm not anymore. I've actually learned to respect Islam in many ways. I think Islamic society and culture is generally like, I don't want to say better, but it's more well maintained and structured. And maybe to a lot of people it's a bad thing, but I feel in Christian societies we've become so open and we've become so forgiving that sin to us is just completely normalized, and that's why we've allowed bad behavior to become so rampant, and that's why a lot of Christian countries are dirtier than Muslim countries. That's why, like, Muslim countries are more strict, but then there's less shit. There's not like the same amount of degeneracy in Islamic countries. And to be honest, most Muslims are fine. Most Muslims are not really a problem. It's just mostly extremists that give everything a bad name. But Muslims, they're a lot closer to Christ. I mean, at least they actually accept Christ as a prophet compared to the Jews. Like, the Jews just, like, outright reject Christ and everything. And I feel like for the most part, really, like, Islam isn't that different from Christianity. Islam really is more just like what Christianity used to be like hundreds of years ago, before it went through like a reformation and still living in traditional values and norms for the most part. But they definitely have some big ethical concerns in a lot of countries, and maybe, yeah, you know, there's a lot of stuff of and there are a lot more lax about certain rules that don't really sit well, or, you know, cutting off people's hands for theft and chucking people off of buildings and having like the jihad and like bombing, and that's definitely like the dark side. Pretty similar to old Christians, maybe with just some cultural roots that come from a much harsher climate. But with Christians, it's like we're so forgiving and we're so open that it's kind of like to our own demise, because we're not willing to really stand up for what is right, and we're kind of more willing to just leave it to God, you know. We're all going to hell. Pretty much, like, the world's going to shit. Like Satan to the grave. I've become like a lot more open about Islam in the past years, and especially after moving to the East and being way closer to Muslims, being in places like Turkey, Azerbaijan. It just opened my eyes a lot more to, like, yeah, we can give Muslims a lot of shit for their problems, but like, look at Scotland. Scotland is, it was the suicide capital of Europe, it was the murder capital of Europe, it was the rape capital of Europe. It has more drug overdoses than anywhere else in the world at one point. Like, has some serious problems, has homelessness off the street, has extreme antisocial behavior, it's falling apart at the seams. In some ways, it's like we can look at them and say, oh, they do all these awful things, but, you know, sometimes, like, the West needs to take a look in the mirror, and especially when you've got, like, the US government dropping bombs on Iranian girls' school and shit like that. It's like, it kind of takes our moral supremacy away for us to say, oh, these, like, suicide bombers and stuff. Well, it's like they might bomb like an Ariana Grande concert, which, by the way, didn't even happen, was a false flag. Like, 9/11 was a fucking false flag. Most of these terrorist attacks are a fucking false flag and set up by the Western powers in the first place, giving these guys guns or just like faking the whole thing. But we can't really say, oh, they do this and they do that, when we're committing genocide in Palestine and we're fucking dropping bombs on innocent people all over the Middle East so we can steal their resources. It's like, who's the bad guys, really? Well, I think that, yeah, funny enough, Jesus Christ probably looked more like a modern Middle Eastern Muslim than what we believed him to look like. He more likely had dark hair, dark eyes as a Semite who spoke Aramaic or Hebrew. Yeah, I think, like, there's some weight to that, but I think most scholars agree that Jesus was a Greek Jew. But if you come to Georgia and in Armenia as well, and you're in Turkey, and you see like the very You know, Armenia was the first Christian country in the world. Turkey has like the oldest Christian monasteries. When you go there and you see the depictions of Christ, he is actually looks way more Middle Eastern. And it's the same with like Virgin Mary, like in Georgia, she's generally like a lot more darker. All the saints are a lot more darker. But yeah, I think Jesus was sort of Greek in origin, like Greek Aramaic Semite. And the Greek Jews were not so much like Israeli Jews. They were more like converts from the Greek lines. But I think no matter where you are, it's the same with God. They say God created man in his image, but man also creates God in our image. Wherever you are, if you're in a pale country, God's pale. If you're in a dark country, God's dark. It really just depends where you are, and I think some of that's just to make God and Christ like a lot more relatable. But it's the same thing with like St. George. Like St. George, obviously patron saint of Georgia. He's also patron saint of England. They say that St. George slayed the dragon in England and Wales, and then over here in Georgia, over 1,000 miles away, they say that Prince George slayed the dragon over here. They look different in each tradition. In Georgia, he has a spear. In England, he has a sword. In England, he's white. In Georgia, he's dark, but like the message is still the same, right? The story's still the same. So I think like the racial aspect, like the ethnic aspect's not too important. It's mostly just to make it a bit more grounded culturally. Definitely not in all the pics depicted of Jesus. He looks more like a European. Definitely not all of them. Like if you come to Georgia, it's definitely not like that at all. They look Persian in Georgia. Virgin Mary looks extremely Persian in Georgia. Same in Armenia. They have more of like the almond eyes and even the facial characteristics. But I think that's normal. It's normal to like illustrate and depict beings like that in your own likeness instead of something foreign. You got to keep in mind as well, like in England or like in Georgia, in Armenia. I mean, maybe like Armenia, they're like a lot closer. Turkey's like a lot closer to Israel in general, like sure. But when you get to England, most of them have never even seen a Middle Eastern person. Like the vast majority of them have never even seen them. So to have like artists in a tradition like still depict them the same way, it's not even so much racist as it is just like they have no other point of reference to say what that person would look like. But I've never seen, personally, I mean I'm sure there's pictures out there, but I've never seen Jesus depicted with like blonde hair and blue eyes. Pretty predominantly. This is like dark hair, sort of like olive skin, dark eyes. I mean, the Jews are pretty white, right? Persians are pretty white as well. It also says in the Bible in Genesis the Earth up into like three predominant races, people reinterpret it in a modern way, like they do with everything. But I guess like most scholars, like if you were Semitic or you were like Nordic or you were like Greek or you were like Asian or like Middle Eastern, they're probably the people that saw him, like that witnessed them as disciples. I think a lot of Jews look white. I think a lot of Persians look white as well. Actually, the white race, or whatever you want to call it, is actually from Iran originally. And same with the Caucasus region, like in Georgia. Like this is a Persian region of the world, but this is where white people came from before they emigrated to Northern Europe, Britain, Germany, and you can actually still find white people like blonde hair, blue-eyed people in Iran to this day before the Arab conquest. So originally, like Persians were white. Now there's like a lot of overlap. And obviously it's extremely hot here as well. Like I'm pale as fuck, but like now I'm starting to turn brown. So sometimes it's just the sun. And yeah, I think you can still be white, right? No black hair. I don't really think that's got much to do with it. Well, Saxons are European whites as well. They have black hair. I think like white doesn't really exist. I think race in terms of black, white, yellow, red doesn't really exist. Because then you just end up going down this whole rabbit hole of are Italians white? Are Spanish people white? You know, are Jews white? Are fucking Slavs white? Are Greeks white? Are fucking Moroccans white or Persians white? It's not like a scientific thing. It's just like a generalization based on cultural quality. Same with blacks. Even like being black from Morocco is not like the same thing being like black from Sudan, or black from Rwanda is not the same as being black from like Pacific Islands or something, you know. Yeah, Ben Shapiro is like perfect example, right? Because like Ben Shapiro has white skin, just like countless other Jews or Semitic people, but because white race doesn't actually exist, it's just like a social construct, they can still identify as Jewish because Jewish is an ethnic group. Like, I'm not white, I am a Celt, right? Or like, I'm an Aryan. Or like Georgians, they might say, I'm not white, I'm Caucasian. Or people from ancient Iran, like Indo-Aryans, might say, I'm not Persian, I'm like an Aryan. Or Italian might say, I'm not white, even though they get a lot of Italians, especially like from northern Italy, they have like white skin, and they might say, I don't know, like, I'm a fucking from this little ethnic region of Italy. Like, Georgia has many ethnic groups living inside of it. Same with Russia. Like, you know, like Khabib. I guess most people would look at Khabib and say like, oh, Khabib's white. But Khabib, he lives from like a Muslim part of Dagestan in southern Russia. And they, again, they're not like the same type of white, so it's just like a reductionary argument, right? Yeah, I don't really think skin color is that important. I think ethnic groups have their own culture and their own traditions that basically shapes like a language and a country and a land, but I don't really think like skin color is that important. Yeah, it's like you say, Mark, like we used to be pagans. We used to have completely different religion. We used to have like completely different beliefs. So even saying like ethnicities, culture, and ethnicities, values is still like subject to change, right? I think the important thing is that there's like a cohesiveness. Whereas like what's happening now, like obviously we grew up in Scotland. Most of us have never even seen a black guy until we were like 12, 13 years old. Like we'd literally never even seen a black guy. And nowadays, it's like they're absolutely everywhere. Like our culture is being completely ripped apart. Like our ethnicity is being ripped apart. I don't really think it matters if we're like. It doesn't matter if we're white, we're black, we're Greek, we're Italian, we're fucking Chinese, like we're Japanese. Like the same principle applies. Like the whites did it to the fucking Africans as well. Like the whites did it to lots of people. Like whites did it all over America with the like rampant colonialism. We invaded their lands. We like destroyed their ethnic groups. We destroyed like their cultures, just like the Romans did to the Celts. So now like the same thing's happening to Europe, where we're just getting like boatloads of people in from all over the world, and it's destroying like our sense of belonging, destroying like our ethnic, our language, our culture. Though to be fair, Like, before this shit even happened, our culture was pretty much already run into the ground. We never even had a decent culture. Like, the West hasn't even had, like, a real culture that could have stood on its own ground for more than a few decades at most, anyway. Because they already destroyed religion. They already destroyed any sense of, like, real values. The West hasn't had much in the way of real values for quite some time, I think. Yeah, in Russia, Russia's the biggest country in the world, and Russia's the most ethnically diverse place in the world. But if you go, like, right to the other end of Russia, like, you go right to Eastern Russia, there's literal, like, you know, they look like Chinese, or they look like their own special ethnic group of, like, half Chinese, like, half white. There's Arab-looking people. There's Indo-Aryans. There's Caucasus ethnic groups. Like, in Georgia, you kind of get used to it, honestly. It kind of like changed my mind about a lot of stuff in terms of, like, race and ethnicity, because in Georgia, you do actually have, like, a really tight and close knit, like, extremely racially diverse community, but they're all Georgian. They're all totally Georgian. They all speak the language. They all have the same religion. They all have the same values. They all think the same thing. They all have the same greetings. They all have the same customs. And you never hear anything about race in Georgia, really. And there's, like, dark people in Georgia. It's not like black people in Georgia, you know. It's not like African people in Georgia. But there's, like, Arab-looking people. There's, like, white, blonde hair, blue eyes people. There's, like, redheads. There's, like, green eyes. And, like, all, like, shades, like, in between. And people from this place, people from that place, people looking Greek, people looking a bit Chinese, people, like, really, really mixed. But they're all completely Georgian. Like, they're all totally Georgian. But Georgia's in the middle of the world, right? It's literally straddling the border between Europe and Asia. So it makes sense that obviously it's going to have, like, lots of different groups of people. But lots of people came to this land over millennia and have fought for their own little part. Like, there's the Kartvelian people that are kind of like the main ethnic group. But there's also, like, the Ajarians, the Phoenicians, Abkhazians. They all consider themselves unique ethnically, slightly culturally. But they're all pretty much a big family, yeah. They're all pretty much on the same wavelength. They all Russian Orthodox. They all have the same history. They all have the same language, pretty much. They all have the same roots. They all have the same weather. They all have, like, the same ancestry, more or less. You know, they're like 100 miles away here, 100 miles over there. It's not like the UK, where we're importing people from, like, the bottom of Africa, or fucking 1,000 miles away. Like, they're on a totally different landscape, totally different environment, totally different culture, different values, plus the ethnic. And honestly, it's like, it's a bit risky to say, But countries that don't have that type of diversity seem to be, in my analysis, do a lot better. Because Georgia is a country that struggles. Like, Georgia is a poor country. Same with Armenia. Same with Turkey. Like, Turkey is a very racially diverse country. A lot of people think of Turkey, they just think of like Muslims. I've been in Turkey and I've seen the most beautifully stunning women ever. Just like, wow. White, dark, all types, all living in that country. But one thing I've noticed is places like UK, for instance, or Germany, Scandinavia, like France, Italy, like places that had a lot stricter ethnic cohesion and cultural cohesion seem to have done a lot better for themselves in the long run in terms of actually having like power and developing technology, more complex politics, more social order. I feel more like refined culture, but man, it's hard to judge because like we got it pretty good. Even for World War II, that was like the hardest. It's one of the hardest moments like humanity's ever gone through, and even with the stuff that was going on here in World War II, like the Dresden bombings and the travesties, like the POW camps and all the other war crimes, man, it's absolutely fucking nothing compared to what happened to Eastern Europe and what happened to Asia during the Communist Revolution. Like, they got their fucking ass ripped out, man. They got their fucking ass ripped out, and it makes sense in a lot of ways why they're not going to be as developed. Why they're still going to be struggling in so many ways, because they had the fucking ground pulled out from under their feet, like, big time. Like, the slaughters that went on here, like the famines, the, like, execution squads, the gulags, like the destruction of religion, the destruction of everything, really. Like, that's gonna have like a really long lasting mark. The Saxons never brought pagan, invaded by the Romans, an ancient language called Ogham, but it was mostly only written down on like stones and was quite like bare, so we didn't really have like a lot of reference. But Julius Caesar, all the accounts that we have of ancient Brittany, pretty much just come from Julius Caesar. And I think he invaded Brittany in like 10 AD or something. But we had like the Druids. We're like pagans. But it's pretty hard to actually say, like, specifically what we worship. We probably worship something like nature. We're probably quite like animists, where we believed fields and like rain and wind, and had like lots of mythologies and lore and small stories. But it's really hard to say because the Romans invaded us and they raped the fuck out of us. They committed genocide. They destroyed like so much of our culture. And then by the time like the Saxons came and Christianity, we pretty much just got rid of the rest of it ourselves. And it's the same with Scandinavia, with the Norse religions. We obviously know a lot more about the Norse religions, but then once they converted to Christianity, they just kind of threw all the old stuff away as like pagan bullshit. as like pagan bullshit. I think the stuff with the Kalergi plan, the racial aspect has a lot to do with it, but it's mostly just an attempt to denationalize, remove culture. Like most of it's already complete. Like remove religion, that's a big one. Because without like a unified belief in the afterlife and what's right, there's like little to rally around because everyone's kind of divided on what the world should be like. And that's really true in the West because we could all decide to band together or form our own like political party or America when they defected against the British, but there's no real central authority of values that could actually guide people. There's no like leadership. There's nothing like substantiated that lets people all like join together and work for a common cause. You used to have that. That's how like the Irish managed to do so much because they had something to actually stand on. Whilst these days it's like we might all be against World Economic Forum or we might all be against like mass migration, but at the end of the day it all goes through like the same system, the same chain of command, and to actually get tens of millions of people to all agree on a unilateral goal, on a new like economic principle, on a new ethic, like moral principle, like a code, like something to really believe in, to die for, to potentially go to jail for, to like sacrifice everything that you have for. We don't have that anymore, and they're kind of just chipping away at the ways people can build up power and influence, because they do it with like social media. You know, back in the day, people used to think people were like illiterate and didn't read as much. There's like a really good book called Amusing Ourselves to Death by Neil Postman, and it's all about like the history of literacy and how much people used to read books and listen and like educate themselves until they just started watching like TV and effectively like dumbing themselves down. But in America in like the 18th century, people used to go see like debates with Abraham Lincoln and like the contemporaries of the day and listen to lectures for like 6-8 hours a day. They would read a shit ton of books because that's what there was to do. They weren't like scrolling TikTok. They weren't getting sidetracked over here then over there to this video, that video, stream them with a bunch of shit that's just made to like keep them engaged, well, effectively just give them like surface level information. People aren't really that engaged these days. We kind of just got a lot of plebs, I want to say. And we're kind of in that situation where there's like masters and slaves. It's like that Hegelian dialect, you know, we have a master-slave relationship where there's those in power that like guide the masses, and then there's those that are in those circumstantial positions where they can't really escape, whether it's because of economic, whether it's because of the control of mass media, mass surveillance. Like, we don't really have that much power to unite anymore on a common ground. Or, you know, think of all the communists these days. Like, think of all the people that are like self-proclaimed communists, and they just basically regurgitate, oh, we need like the state controls all the resources and the proletariat, or um, just like servants of those who control the means of production. But the amount of them that have actually read Das Kapital is like tiny. It's like 1% of communists these days have probably even read Das Kapital, and they just basically pick all the shit up from social media. It's the same shit with even like most Christians, man. Like, so many Christians, they haven't actually read the Bible. They just kind of like blindly believe. It's the same. It's the same with everything these days. People just aren't really that engaged. People just aren't really that intellectual. So that even if someone came along and they wrote this manifesto, or they wrote this thesis, or they wrote this like magnum opus of a philosophical treatise, or some like revolutionary like religious text that could change the world, people wouldn't read it, because that's not where like human consciousness is right now. It's all just like mass consumerism and dollar art and pretty degenerate. So they kind of like, oh, this. Yeah, you don't see that type of mass migration happening in Africa or Russia or China. You do actually see it in Asia, and you do actually see it in Africa, though Africa is kind of like past this day. But if you look at like South Africa, for instance, the amount of Dutch, British, lots of white people moved there, and they did the same thing. Probably even worse, honestly, because they had like so much power. Settled there, changed the culture there, changed the language there, changed the beliefs there, kind of like by force. So like Africa definitely went through its moment. Asia, in a broader sense, does actually have like a lot of immigration, but it's mostly like how if Europe had a lot of immigration, but it was just between Europeans. So you had Germans moving to France, and French moving to Sweden, and Sweden moving to like Latvia. It's more kind of like that, because you know, if you go to Turkey, there's like Kurds, Arabs, Armenians, Pakistanis, some countries, like I'd say like Southeast Asia is pretty ethnically homogenous, like places like Philippines. But then again, like, why would anyone move to Philippines? To be honest, the people that are mostly moving to the Philippines are white, or they're like Westerners, like looking for a really cheap country to live. They did have mass migration in times of the Spanish, obviously, like the Spanish that went over there and colonized them. China. Yeah, China's a weird one. Probably do get quite a lot of migration in China, but nothing that's on the same scale. But you got to remember that China's birth rate was extremely high. Like China is like 1/5 of the world's population. Hard to compensate. Like if China got the same amount of immigration as the UK, you probably wouldn't even notice it, especially if they were all spread out. Whilst the UK is a tiny little island, and we have a depleting birth rate, we have an aging population, so obviously we're going to feel it like a lot more. Yeah, I think like this mass migration that goes on like that is all obviously bad for anywhere. But I would say like even the legal migration, if you have like too much legal migration, it's a disproportionate level of what the country can handle, what the state can provide, then it just makes like the country unsustainable. The UK does let pretty much anyone in. Canada doesn't. Canada's like the hardest country in the world to get in. Like Canada's immigration process is extremely fucking strict. And they're cracking down a lot on all the student. I think that's where most of the student visas were coming in, and people opening up like smaller businesses. Probably get a lot of illegals coming in there as well that fuck the place up. But Canada, actually, on a global spectrum, it's got one of the most strictest migration policies ever. Like, you can get banned from Canada for 10 years for having a DUI. So overall, like, Canada has probably got the one of the strictest immigration policies in the entire world. I mean, if I've got a British passport, yeah, 30 million people. Scotland has 5 million people. But like China, India, they probably have like 2 billion people between them, right? Yeah, I think definitely with Canada, at least how it looks to me from the outside, it doesn't have it as bad because it does have mass migration, but it's mostly uh, quite above board, and you've gone through like valid process or whatever. But like you're saying, places like Spain, places like France, places like the UK, places like Germany, places like Greece, like Belgium, they do get effectively invaded because people just wash themselves up on the shore on a boat and just start claiming benefits, and it's because of all this shit with like, it's like, even just to go like full circle, it's because of Christianity in a lot of ways, because we have human rights, because we're so forgiving, because we're so tolerant. We're like, sure, come in, we'll feed you, we'll give you a house, we'll provide for you. Oh, you like stabbed an old lady with a knife, or you hammered, you like slaughtered a bunch of kids at a little Taylor Swift dance class. We'll put you in prison for life sentence, and we'll give you 3 meals a day, and you'll still have your human rights in there. You'll have a TV in there, and you'll be able to go to the gym, and you'll be able to, you'll be looked after. That's like anywhere else in the world. It's like, nah, you're getting firing squad. You're getting put down, basically. Maybe even before you get off the boat. So some of it's just like being a little bit too tolerant and a little bit too kind, and thinking that we can just help every single person in the world, when, like, Scotland, population about like 5-6 million, is absolutely nothing. We think we're so big. We think we can just help anyone, and we're so rich. We're fucking nothing. We're like 6 million people max. And in 10-20 years, that population is probably going to drop to like 3 million. And yeah, thanks, bud. I'll come to Canada one day. I'll come to Canada one day in 2034. I'll see you there in 2034 when the place has got the fucking shit, and like the ice caps have melted, and after the end of World War III and the nuclear winter. And then what? Smoke a J. But where I'm at, like, I've almost felt safer since I left the UK. I felt a lot safer actually. So much to the point that sometimes I've been back here, I've been in Georgia, I've been like around the world, and I'm like, you know, why did I leave again? And then I read the news from the UK and I realize, oh, actually, I'm not safe in the UK. Like, we could be going to war with anyone. There could be civil war in the UK. There could be more terrorist attacks in the UK. If you're reading the papers, they're talking about stuff like, should we nuke Russia? Is Russia going to nuke us? Are we going to get cut off with our resources? Or prices just going to keep going up? Like, I don't know where the world is going to be in 5-10 years. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff popping off. So I'm kind of like, yeah, right now, I'm kind of like an international citizen. And maybe I'm just like playing the same game as a lot of other people, and I'm just trying to move out and go to some place that like suits me better. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot recently of, you know, where am I from? Like, where is my home? And normally I would have said Scotland, but now I'm feeling like, you know, I'm not really from Scotland. I'm not really from Earth. I believe like my soul belongs to a higher place. And this world and this life is just temporary. And sometimes, like I was saying it last time, sometimes I even think like maybe this is just the fate of the world. Maybe this is just the end of days. This is the times of like revelations when nations collapse, the power structures fall, like ethnicities fade away, like the whole structure of the world just decays, and we enter the apocalypse. And maybe some of us are just gonna go back to the source, and the rest are just gonna burn in the fucking shithole. But could you imagine if we just did a swap? Could you imagine if the UK was like, you know what, like, hey, Nigeria, or like, you know, Africa, we'll swap you, right? Like, we'll give you the UK, like, you can just have it, and we'll have the whole of Africa. Like, they'd all be trying to get back into Africa in like 10 fucking years, man. Like, we'd turn Africa into an absolute fucking superpower that the world's ever fucking seen. There'd be like transnational railway lines and space programs and fucking solar panels all over the fucking thing, and like what the fuck would all these people just trying to get in the UK so bad even do with the place? Like most people that come to the UK from these countries, like, they're just Uber drivers, or they work in retail jobs like fast food, or like, we're not getting doctors and engineers and shit in, right? So ultimately, the more people that come to those countries and just fuck the place up and lower the quality of life and raise the prices up of everything, they're just like creating the conditions for their own demise and for their circle to just continue on the same way. Because if you bring people from countries that aren't productive, that never had it in the first place to like make a good home for themselves, and then you're also mixing that with natives that have been degenerating for so long, in terms of education, production, like viability, it's all just gonna fucking collapse. And then what are you gonna do then? Like, what are you gonna do then? Like, you're not, immigration isn't addressing anything at the source. It's just like prolonging the problem, and it's like trying. I gotta go to bed. It was just gonna be a short one tonight, but I have to get up and I have to get baptized tomorrow. And it's kind of like a spur of the moment thing. But yeah, I gotta go to church tomorrow. Yeah, I haven't seen that. But he's a cheeky little bastard. He's a cheeky little bastard because, like, the UK sold out so fucking hard to Israel and the Zionists and the Jews, and has like the House of fucking Rothschild and funding Israel and doing so much for them. He's like a cheeky little cunt if he did actually say that, because he needs to get back in his place and actually see who like made his fucking country like possible in the first place. But when was it? 2020 COVID era, right? The COVID era. You had Rishi Sunak in England, right? Prime Minister of England. Then you had Humza Yousaf in Scotland. And then you had, what's his name? Theo Lardakar in Ireland. And then you had, I can't remember who it was in Wales, but they were all Middle Eastern. They were all like Asian at the same time. So Scotland, England, Ireland, Wales at the exact same time all had foreign, like first generation rulers. And I think as well, maybe not Leo Varadkar, all of the others got put in power, not because they were voted in, but because the person before them resigned. And then they like undemocratically like got into power. So like, I think that's sus as fuck. And that also happened at the UK's like worst point ever, like economically, like during COVID, the economy went to fucking shit. Basically was the beginning of the end for the UK. And ever since then, it's just been complete fucking shit. Like, it was already shit, but COVID was like the last nail in the coffin. And ever since COVID, it's just been a complete fucking shithole. Like a complete utter shithole. But yeah, anyway. It's supposed to be Diablo 2. It's more like the John Brave podcast. Need to start getting some guests on, right? Like, need to start getting like David Icke or some shit. Need to start getting some politicians and some like celebrities on the stream soon. It's probably what people are going to be more into, honestly, than playing Diablo 2 forever. But yeah, my ping was just so shit anyway. I was like, fuck it, man. Let's just eat brownies and talk shit for a bit. But yeah, I gotta get baptized tomorrow. Don't want to be like totally exhausted. I've already been on my feet like all day today, like walking around. And yeah, it's gonna be like a big day tomorrow. Definitely not gonna get attacked by that demon tonight. I can already feel it. I can already kind of feel it, just like there's no way it's gonna come in tonight. All that fucking holy water. I'm wearing a priest's ring. It's not gonna have a chance. And yeah, my podcast would be sick. Like, I should get like all the big ones on. They should get like Jordan Peterson on it and start grilling these fucks. So get like Andrew Wilson on it and start like arguing with him. I saw that video, by the way, of like Andrew Wilson saying he's a fucking Freemason. Yeah, she did start getting deep in. Just get like Ocho on it. Get like Noam Chomsky on it and shit. I do big things. Yeah, get Mike Tyson. Get them all. Get some Orthodox priests. We'll get like some Islamic scholars and start like organizing debates and shit. Eva Vlar. I don't know who that is. I'll need to look her up. But yeah, maybe. I need a better mic. Need to get some money, boys. Need to keep the donations. Need to get one donation, maybe. And then we can work our way up to that. Maybe need to get 1,000 subs. Go back to drawing board. But yeah, guys. Hope you have a good one. Peace out. I'll probably see you tomorrow if you guys are around. But yeah, probably gotta start over on a single player or something. Maybe we'll play something else.